Hey guys, how you doing? We'll see. This day coming on for a quick live stream. We'll see if anybody shows up because this is recorded in the afternoon. Hope everything is well. Uncle Stef here. So, can you hear me? I don't know if anybody's going to actually even show up. Any eyeballs showing up? Any eyeballs showing? There we go. How you guys doing? Let me know in the comments if you can hear me. Test, 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 test. I hope everything is well with you guys. I think I'm going to start scheduling lives again just to get some feedback from you guys. So I put out a video yesterday, a short on, the title was All Programming Languages Will Be One. And we got a bunch of comments, and so I got a nice summary of the comments. I'm going to discuss some of the points that were brought up. You can hear me good? Cool, cool. Thanks for letting me know. Fantastic, good. I'm using also a new mic, a little lavalier mic, just so that I don't have to worry about having a mic in my face. It makes my life easier to do that as opposed to using this thing, this is not connected. So we're trying to lavalier, see if you guys like the sound or not. You let me know. I'm going to get into it because it's already 11:40. Wow, time is flying. So first thing, let me know if you're watching, where you're watching from, Los Angeles, California, Paris, France, wherever you happen to be. Anyway, so I'm going to jump into the subject, and then we'll do a little Q&A, and we'll see how it goes after that. A couple of things at the end of the stream I want to discuss quickly, ask you guys some questions about things. So let's just jump into it. So here is a summary of some of the things were brought to my attention. So comments on your latest short, All Programming Languages Will Be One, show a healthy mix of excitement, skepticism, technical debate based on the 32 comments so far. Here's a summary of the main themes. Skepticism and technical concerns. So many viewers are skeptical about AI's ability to flawlessly convert between languages. Concerns were raised about memory management, memory leaks, handling specific language features like Rust borrow checker or Go's concurrency, and the risk of AI hallucinating or creating bugs that are difficult for humans to spot. These are all valid concerns, by the way. These are all valid concerns. Some also question the practicality of discussing or auditing projects if no one truly understands the underlying code. Again, all valid concerns, but we're starting to see this translation as we discussed here. We're starting to see it, and it has to be done right? If you're using AI to write code, you have to structure your code right to begin with. But, okay, I have further points about this as we go through. Agreement and shift to natural language. I don't know if you could read this stuff, guys, but several viewers agree with your premise, suggesting that English or natural language is becoming the new source code. There's a shared sentiment that AI agents will eventually reason through code and adapt it to the target environments or even generate binaries directly, bypassing traditional coding languages altogether. This is also true. And this is pointing to a larger trend in software development where it's developers, by the way, I think are going to be super, super valuable going forward. I think this is the best time in decades to become a software developer. I know it sounds weird because you hear the doom of code. Point number one, coding is just an aspect of software development. And in my career over the 30 years, I've seen the amount of code you write versus the amount of app you got out of that continues to diminish. So when you're using a framework like React, you're using Vue, you're using a full stack framework, all that, there's a lot of code that you're using that you're not generating, right? So this AI move towards low code, no code architectures, it's just the next step in evolution in that. So I've seen this before, although this is taken to a whole new level, of course. So that's number one. That has been the trend going forward with regards to software development, less code over time. I say developer roles are going to explode, meaning it's going to be very good for developers because two things. A, because software development, even traditional development, is becoming so powerful, so fast, so capable. There's a lot of projects that prior would not even be approached. I was talking to a friend of mine who has a business, it's not a tech business, but he's now building software because of AI that he would not even think about building before. So I think you're going to see a ton of that. So he told me, like, he's working with Claude and Clawbot to develop apps, but he's putting a lot of time into it. And he said he would hire immediately somebody who understood AI workflows, agentic design, and so forth. That would be a huge thing. So that's number one. You're going to see a lot of new opportunities because of AI. New projects are going to be started because AI makes these projects possible, right? That is a huge thing to consider. Yeah, so new projects will be addressed because they're now affordable. Number two, there are going to be whole new applications that before AI were just not possible regardless of the money. That's another thing we're seeing as well. So I've done that a couple of times. I've created a few custom GPTs, custom AIs that I use every day now. They just make my life easy. It took me weeks to build these things, but still. So for those two reasons alone, I believe software development is going to be a ton of jobs. But the key is not learning the old stuff. The key to getting all these jobs is not jumping into what was hot 5 years ago. You got to do what's hot now. Now, don't get me wrong, you still, again, I said this in other videos, you still need to know the fundamentals of code because the AI will make mistakes. So you should be able to recode, be able to tell it what it's doing right or wrong, be able to check things. But more importantly, you have to understand the architectures. You have to understand the state, how to manage state, data flows, how to work with APIs, how to work with the connectors, how to structure apps, how to make choices, make decisions, understand system level thinking, which is a key component of being a modern developer. Yeah, so development is shifting as it has in the past, but it's going to create it's already starting to create huge opportunities. I know people who are developers and they say they have loads of work now because of AI, So we'll go back, final thing, impact on learning and career strategy. This video has sparked questions about what new developers should focus on. I just talked about that. And while some users are already seeing success with AI, like Claude, to bridge the gap between languages, they don't know. Others are asking if they should still focus on deep technical concepts like concurrency or stick to basics plus AI. I say now you should stick to basics plus AI. Learn the fundamentals, then get into, instead of worried about recursion and DSA, data structures and algorithms and all this kind of stuff, just learn your fundamental concepts. So you should learn about front-end languages versus back, client versus server programming, understanding different types of databases that are out there, the pros and cons of like an object database versus a relational database versus a NoSQL database, just conceptually, so you understand it. Maybe do like a Hello World equivalent, maybe a very basic tutorial on each, so you're not spending forever on it. Learn the basic languages, like I teach in my mentoring program, the 6 core languages that I think that you should know. But again, you don't want to go overboard. You don't want to become a perma student where you're just learning languages after languages and you're never doing anything. So HTML5, CSS3, JavaScript, Python, PHP, and SQL. Again, the basics, so you get your way around. But where you should focus is on system level thinking and design, on architecture, on best practices, understanding the AI landscape, understanding when it makes sense to use, to use Wix if you want to do something simple, or you want to maybe base your app on a full stack framework like Express or Laravel or something. But again, this is all navigating with the agents and the AI. You got to know what agents are. You got to know what the agent protocols are. You got to understand things like the Clawbot type of tool sets. You got to understand what Claude can offer you in terms of tools versus Gemini versus GPT versus Grok. Developers who are going to do super well are going to have this knowledge set, not the people who know concurrency and DSA or React. It's the stuff I just talked about. You know this stuff, you're going to print money. As a freelancer, you're going to get a job. I'm telling you, I'm seeing the demand already starting to explode. All right, if you can give me a thumbs up, I appreciate it, guys. We got a small group here. So, yeah, let me get out of this for a second. We're going to go to comments. We'll go to this video. Hold on. Okay, I'm going to go to the comments. Give me a second. All right. I'm going to read through the comments from this video, and then I'll go to some of the comments in this video. So, all right, here we go. So, hopefully you can see. Let's see if I can zoom in a bit. We're zooming in, all right. Just zooming in so we can get to the comments. All right, that's better. Learn concepts is important. All right, good point. We have been waiting years to be able to convert Python to native code. Here we are. Yeah, that's the thing I talked about in this video. So imagine, let's say you work with an AI or on your own and you have a Python-based application. Now, Python is a very powerful language, lots of modules. It's very expressive language, meaning you write a very little Python code and you get a lot done, right? But it's slow. It's dog slow, very memory hoggish. So you could then use an AI and say, okay, I want you to look at this Python, optimize the Python, see if you can do that, A. B, maybe we can extract part of the functionality, the slow part, maybe create the equivalent in C++, and then use Python to call that C++. That's also an option, right? So there's a lot more to it than that. With AI, only bugs and time spent, the tech is failing tech. Well, I'm seeing a lot of people have success with it. The ones who are making mistakes is they use it wrong. I'm not going to get into it here. I know the ultimate language. What if AI messes up? Yeah, well, that's a good question. That's where you still got to know your fundamental. Oh, there it is. You still got to know your fundamentals. You still got to be able to recode. You still need to understand C and C++ depend on AI. It depends on what you're doing. I don't think so. I think, if you really, look at what C++ does for you, like where is C++ applied today versus where is a Python applied today versus where JavaScript is applied today. And then what you do is you learn it if you need to, right? You learn it if you need to. Okay, this guy disagrees here. That's just wrong. It's like saying all tools will become the same. You use a tool for the right business. AI doesn't compress the differences. Differences is there for a reason. Each language will be more specific as there is need to shrink down languages and make them more specialized so they're not hard to learn and do stuff. Well, I do have to know how good AI is with memory management before taking this approach. Could end up with memory leak that is hard for AI to human to spot. Yeah, these things are ongoing, right? And you may, for example, write a core part of your application yourself or with the help of AI, just to be sure it's cool. And then then the rest is the decorator, if you will. The rest of it is written with AI. So you're going to write deterministic code, put it into a probabilistic blend and expect good results. Okay, so he doesn't buy it. I suppose you'd say natural language. Understand, when you're doing all this, you have to have really good system thinking skills. Oh, all right, my camera heated up on me. That's no good. All right, can you hear me still? Can you guys hear me at all? All right, hold on. Is the volume still going? Okay, you can hear me. Let me, hold on, guys. We have a little technical difficulty. Camera failed on me. Give me a second. Give me a second here. Jesus Christ. Stupid Sony. Hold on. Where did I put it? There we go. Getting there, technical difficulty. Yeah, put your comments, put whatever you have to say about this, put it in the comments. Let me know what you think. And we will address it. Okay, so how do I do this now? Okay, give me a second, almost done. Yeah, just put stuff in the comments. My camera overheated. God damn it. There we go, here's a nice one. This one will work. All right, almost there. I'm just getting another camera out, that's all. Give me a second. That was very unexpected. Almost done. Good thing I have a bunch of cameras. Sorry about that, guys. Well, this is taking more time than it should. What are you going to do? All right. Give me a second. I have to find my camera. Is this going to work? Ah, jeez. Hold on. Jeez. Always professional. There's a AI designed live stream here. That's probably what's going on. We have the AI causing problems. So we're going to shut this off. All right. Are we in? All right. Hold on a second. Get the ISO down. All right. All righty. So, problem averted. There we go. Did I lose everybody? No, we're still here. Thanks for your patience. We had to go to plan B, my other camera. So, guys, you can still hear me? Let me know. Hey, how you doing? I'm good. How are you? Let me just get back into this now. How will people discuss projects from the performance or architectural standpoint when nobody knows what's going on? Like in meetings, there will be nothing to talk about because everyone's prompting. Well, it depends how you do it, right? It depends how you structure your prompts and how you structure your applications. That's going to play a major role in terms of how it goes. You know, again, if you design it properly, you'll be able to. One thing I teach. So if you're using AI to write code or write part of the code, you want to segment your application into little chunks so that you can address particular issues individually. If you just build these big monolithic things, yeah, you could run into problems. Depends what you're doing. Languages only exist because people were doing programming. One language to rule them all. To be fair, except for low-level languages, a lot is pretty similar already. Yeah, that's a very good point. Right now, if you're using higher-level languages like Python, JavaScript, Java, C#, a lot of the details are hidden from you. In fact, that's one of the things a lot of the C++ programmers complain about. Hey, should I learn testing the code and implementing concurrency or just focus? I would focus on basics plus AI and start building things. This is what you got to do. Focus on the basics plus AI and start building things. That is the key to jobs in software development. No, Stefan, here's how it works. Natural language, computer knowledge, AI, programming languages, computer. All right, I'm not sure how to interpret that. AI is useful for sure. I think it's going to take over as 100% science fiction. I didn't say that. I said it's just going to change how we code. The infrastructure they're talking about takes at least 5 years to build. Power distribution, another 5 years. The chips will begin to deteriorate in 5 to 7 years. Financing right now is basically a giant Ponzi scheme. Altman has a long history of overpromising and over-exaggerating. Right now, it's pure science fiction. We've been talking about AGI. Well, AGI is not coming anytime soon. AGI technology coming out in the next 2 to 3 years for the past 20 years. Yeah, I'm not a big believer in AGI, that's for sure. Software development is fine. It's software that is cheap now. This is like avoiding one part of reality. Yeah, again, let me be very clear. I am not saying that software development is going away. Not at all. In fact, I'm saying the opposite. I actually believe because of AI, we're going to see an explosion in demand for software developers, but not traditional, not the DSA guys, not the recursion guys, not the React guys. I'm talking the stuff I've been talking about. In fact, my whole mentoring program, I'm adding all these new components and restructuring it. So de-emphasis on coding, more emphasis on the things I'm talking about. So, I've seen this cycle. I've been doing this for 30 years, dudes. I have a good understanding of how these things work. So I could be wrong, but I'm already seeing it. I'm not wrong. I'm already seeing it. I'm already seeing tons of work. Like guys, maybe they'll come in on the stream. Guys have already said they're getting a ton of work now. They're getting a ton of work because of AI. Because of AI, I have refused at least 4 projects from 4 different companies where they wanted AI implementations. I don't do outside work. I don't have the time. A ton of business. So the people who are not getting the business are people who are trying to do the old stuff. I've seen this before. Back in the 90s, when the web started exploding, all the VB6 programmers, their jobs started disappearing. And the ones who adopted the web early on, they did very well. By the way, let me know in the comments, how is the sound? I'm using a lavalier mic, kind of just a pin-on mic, as opposed to my big mics. And let me know, how is the sound? Is the sound good? Can you hear me clearly? Let me know in the comments below. Let's continue here. I disagree. How can the borrow checker feature of Rust be converted to C++ or a construction multi-threaded Go to Python? What did I say? AI can figure it out. Yeah, listen, I'm not saying everything. It's like we don't live in a binary world a lot of times, right? So part of it could be rewritten in AI, or part of it might not be rewritten. I don't know. Let's go on. I just finished a C# project for a Windows application, having experience with web development, working with PHP and TypeScript primarily using Linux. I have not touched Windows in years. Claude Opus 6 did the work for me. Just had to feed it architectural guidelines. So there you go. It's happening. But he's becoming, this guy here is still very valuable because he has a lot of experience in software development. So he's able to guide Opus 4.6 to get the work done. I'm telling you, people who are developers, who are competent in things I discussed, plus they work with AI, the world's their oyster. It's been 2 years I've been learning PHP. Now I am trying to learn MVC model to create a framework by myself. So how is this? You shouldn't do that. You should just learn Laravel basics. Laravel is the predominant PHP framework. Save yourself lots of time and just jump into it. Building things. You got to build things. It is that I am trying to learn real MVC model to create router by myself so that when I want to learn Laravel, it's going to be really, no. Learn Laravel and it will be very easy for you. Don't try and reinvent the wheel. So I would just learn Laravel, learn the basics, but you got to get away from tutorial guys. You got to get away from tutorials as quickly as possible. You got to get into building real things. That's what you got to do. I respectfully disagree. That's cool. Let's see what he says. If you're using AI in the first place and it's supposedly so good at coding, then you should be able to start directly in C++. It's not slow. It's not slow, which is the whole point. Yeah, how the exact process, he's disputing the process. There's some point, there's some truth to this. how the process exactly is going to unroll, I think it's going to change over time as the models, as the AI models get more sophisticated, A. And B, you may use a particular tactic for an aspect of the app, or you may use another tactic somewhere else. So for example, you may use AI to write a bunch of boilerplate, as they're doing now, and maybe convert some Python to C in some part, but then you may have to go down into the code, get dirty with some aspect of it. You're still going to get a big performance increase, you know? You are now like the CEO that predicts the end of the world. I'm not predicting the end of the world. I'm predicting a huge advantage to the world. I'm predicting this could be the best time for software developers in decades. I doubt that a browser will implement C++ language, and I'm not saying a browser. And if you can think AI can do a clean port from C#, C++ to Java, so actually JavaScript to C++, a single little thing could go wrong and a project is lost. Well, yeah, that's why you can reverse. You know, it's not going to be perfect, but the developers who figure out how to find the advantages of this stuff is going to be great. Let me see. Can you guys sound is good? All right, good. Sound is good. That's what I want to check. Okay, be sure about the sound. Uncle, I think back-end dev is the safest place to be in. Full stack is the safest place to be in, I would say. But it's not unsafe. It's like if you use AI to do your back end, your full stack, or your Swift code for your iOS development or whatever, you're just becoming hyper productive and much more valuable. You know, so it's not like you're hiding. Don't hide for it. When. So when is this going to happen? The guy said. What did I say? I forget. Probably said something. 36 days. You're right, some guy says. So all languages are already one: variables, if, else, switch, loops, functions, classes to group together data and functions. Data is handled in database, receives. There's some truth to that. You know, one of the things I've been teaching for years is that the languages are just tools and they have their own little pros and cons. But as I said, if you learn JavaScript, for you to learn C#, very easy. Very easy. To learn TypeScript, very easy. To learn Java, very easy. To learn PHP, very easy. Right? So it's already that. Like all these languages have variables, loops, functions or methods, classes. There's differences here and there, but it's always been about, here's something, if you're a junior, here's something you're probably not aware of. When you are a developer, as you become more experienced, as you move up the developer hierarchy, go from junior to intermediate, etc., you're writing less and less code. You're dealing more with decision-making architecture to begin with. So let's see what we got here. This is exactly what AI agents can do. Agentic AI repurposes code appropriate to the silicon it runs on because agents can reason. Code now becomes adaptive to its environment. So there you go. That's pretty powerful. So what I want to say about this is not an attack on software development. Again, let me reiterate. I think it's the best time ever, at least in decades, to become a software developer if you do the right stuff. You got to do the right stuff. It's no longer 2020 or 2015, you know? The fact of the matter is we've been stuck on 2015 tech for many years now, I guess a decade. So this AI stuff is just the next big leap. All right, we're going to do we'll do a little bit of Q&A. See, sometimes I question why I have so many cameras and then my camera overheats, so I'm happy I got many cameras. I wonder if you guys actually see the differences in the cameras. Probably not. Except, okay, let's see what we got here. So, how many people we have on board now? We got 65. That's a small group. All right, you can hear me. Boom, boom, Cambodia. My fab nerd, boomer face, red heart shape. I appreciate that. Thank you. Let's get this back. Always pro. Always pro. There we go. Who cares I've already been laid off and still jobless. Well, get into the stuff I'm suggesting, dude. Get into that stuff, and you'll see the jobs opportunities will start to open up for you. That's the key. If you're trying to do the old stuff, you're going to have trouble. Whoa. That's not good. Okay, sorry, just cleaning up my setup here. God damn it. There we go. Always professional. Always professional. This is my other camera that overheated on me. Junk. Some cameras are good for live streaming. Some cameras are not so good for live streaming. Just like programming languages. All right. Who cares? Already I've been laid off. You know what you got to do there. Let me just get this big so we can see it. True. But the economy sucks. People would build projects and spam the market. But which ones will make money? A lot of them are starting to make money. Hey, man, how are you? Long time. You should come to the group's chats, man. Hi from Cambodia. Yes, there are lots of work now, unlike 2025. So yeah, the market's coming back. And one of the reasons why there was a lot less jobs in 25 is because they had overhired during COVID, right? They overhired during COVID, so there was a lot less jobs. Now they are back again. They're hiring like crazy. They're starting to hire. But again, the hack is, well, I told you the hack. Just do that. Do you mean we should avoid DSA? I wouldn't spend time on DSA. I wouldn't. You're much better off. Once you know your fundamentals, as the things I discussed, you should be getting into building things, number one. Number two, working with AI. The DSA master will have this many opportunities versus the AI agentic master. The agentic master has got a huge amount of opportunities. DSA, forget about DSA. I never was a fan, to be honest with you, but you know. There's always going to be opportunity in every technology shift. I'm seeing developers create AI tools for musicians, artists, laugh out loud. There you go. Trust me, I see a whole new class of software that is being created because of AI. Brand new stuff. I was just talking to my friend. He's building software now and doing all kinds of systems because it's now possible. Stuff he had kind of dreamed about, but it would have cost him like $1 million to build it. But now he's able to do it because it's affordable now. But now it's jobs, it's opportunity, it's systems to build. That wasn't possible heretofore, you know? So yeah, I would not put my time into DSA at this point. So hey, give me some thumbs. Stop misleading people. Now than ever, we need devs. Yeah, we do need devs. I'm not saying we don't need devs. We need devs who know the stuff that they want. You know, forget about the, VB6 devs are no longer needed. ActionScript devs are no longer needed. Delphi devs are barely needed. Doesn't mean we don't need devs, we just don't need those devs. So we have to just work on the new stuff. Listen, I'm an old ancient nerd. If an old ancient nerd can see that you should go towards the new stuff, you young nerdlings should, you're all into new. React used to be the new thing. I remember React came out and React guys used to make fun of people who were doing vanilla JavaScript with Bootstrap or something, or jQuery. Yeah, because React was the new thing. That's where the opportunity was. The React boom, as it was, it's going to be tiny relative to the AI boom. Tiny. So just in case you're coming in, I think software development is going to be huge. I think it's going to. I think that the opportunities are going to explode if you do the right stuff. I'm like a broken record here. I'm still working on Ruby on Rails. Don't tell Stef about this. What? Again, if you want to work with Ruby, Rails, there's jobs out there. There's another little hack, by the way. Here's a little job hack for juniors or people. Another hack, besides grabbing the emergent technology, which I suggest that you do, the other hack is to find old technology that's not popular now, where there's legacy applications, meaning old projects that are lingering around, or companies who use Ruby, for example, and they can't find developers. It's always a question of supply and demand. If you got this many Ruby jobs, but you only have this many Ruby developers, the developers win, right? But again, if you're going to do Ruby, work with AI. I don't know why, but I got hired last week as a senior consultant for a JavaScript project, even with AI. I'm telling you, a big part of the reason people were laid off because there was just overhiring during COVID. So there's the normal correction. Now they're coming back. Answer, no, yes. How are you? I'm pretty good. Pretty good. What time is it? 12:15. Getting a little hungry. I have to go for lunch soon. Probably going to get some Portuguese chicken today with roast potatoes. Those are always good. Sounds good. What do you think of the new sound? I'm using this tiny little mic here, right? So I can do this now, as opposed to this thing. Is what all the podcasters use, right? But I don't know. Let me know. I think people see it. This is pretty cool. I prefer this. At least, how long should I take to learn JavaScript? Well, we shouldn't spend too much time on the foundation languages. So for example, in my mentoring program, people learn HTML5, CSS, people learn HTML5, CSS3, JavaScript, Python, PHP, and SQL. Not everything, but enough so you understand. And that's about 200 hours of work, 200 hours. So JavaScript alone, maybe you can save 30 hours of work, 40 hours, depends on your aptitudes, right? The key is not to get stuck in tutorial hell. The key is you want to get in the ring. You want to start working with development as quickly as possible. That's how you get good. I got this principle, I learned this the hard way in software, where back in my day, I remember I spent way too much time on theoretical understanding of JavaScript and modern programming. And when I finally decided to sit down and write real code, I was like lost. And I said, I remember sitting there decades ago, I remember sitting there and going, I forgot my old martial art lessons. If you want to be a fighter, you fight. You learn the basics and then you jump in the ring and you start fighting. 1 3-round full contact sparring match is worth 6 to 10 months, a year of training outside of the ring. It's actually worth a lot more because there's a lot of things that you're going to learn in the ring fighting that you cannot learn outside of the ring. You just can't. You just can't. Same thing with coding and development. There's a lot of things about development that you cannot learn with tutorials. There's just all these things that tutorials cannot bring to you. You need to get into the ring. That's why I encourage people, get in the ring, get in the ring. Oh, thumbs up, guys. We have 85 people and only 20 thumbs. The thumbs to viewership ratio is pretty pathetic, just saying. It's called agent language. So-called AI errors factory will disappear soon. Now head above water because of the propaganda will soon be gone. So-called AI errors factory. I'm not sure what he's saying about that. I'm not sure if he's saying that he thinks AI will disappear. I'm not sure. Expand that for me. I just tell Manus to do it, and it does literally anything with enough credits. I can make AGI. Do you mean you should avoid DSA? I wouldn't put too much time into it. Any beginner's course will teach you decent data structures and data types and algorithms, not so important. You know, a good idea is safe. How do you get Applet Viewer to work? I have Windows latest. Applet Viewer? Are you talking about Java applets? By the way, what is your primary source of income? Is it YouTube or something else? Well, Well, I semi-retired, retired at 30, so that's like 800 years ago. And I have passive income, several passive income streams that have been going around on for a long time. Like one of the small ones is shrinking now, but hosting business. And I have a lot of investments. So I do YouTube for fun, but it's also, I won't lie, it's also good for, I have a mentoring program now. I also supply schools with a classroom management and curriculum tool. It's called Studioweb. I've dealt with many, many districts over the years. But yeah, so it's many different things. I am now really excited for first time in a while, I have to admit, about development because of AI. And the mentoring programs, I think I'm refocusing on that. That's been around, I guess, about 6 years now. So it's I enjoy that. That's what I do. I was laid off. I'm trying to make a complex DB solution with AI tools. Yeah, start just working with AI. The key is to work with the AI, to understand them. So you go in there, you're going to understand you're going to understand Claude. You're going to understand the Claude toolset. You're going to understand the Gemini toolset. You're going to understand agentic tools. Like Replit, I just did an ad for them. You can check out the video. Understand what these tools. So you go in to see a prospective employer, and you'll be able to say to them, okay, for what we're doing here, we should use X or we should use Y, you know? Hell, no legacy projects will carry the 2030s or even 40s. Yeah. AI skills might replace coding languages. It's just a short-term theory. AI skills are huge. That's the new you got to think of the AI skill set. The AI stacks, prompting, and there's new stuff coming out. That's like the new React. It's like the new high-level language. The arguments that I'm hearing now against AI, by the way, by developers, are the same arguments I heard from C++ programmers to a great extent, and C programmers when Java came out, and JavaScript came out, and Python came out. You know, and a lot of the criticisms were accurate. So, for example, the C++ guy says you can't control memory. Your applications are going to run very slow. You're going to have you don't have the control, so you won't be able to do this and you won't be able to do that. And this is all true. There's a lot of things. That's why C++ is still around. There's a lot of things you can do with that, but you can't do with Python. You can't do with JavaScript. You can't do with PHP. You can't do with Ruby. You can't do with TypeScript. You know, but you can do with C++. But those languages are still dominant. Looking for jobs of upskilling and refreshing your knowledge to get a new job. What happens now with AI? Learn the AI stuff. Do just get dumber and not refine your skill rather than prompt AI. Listen, AI is not stupid. AI, meaning AI experts are very high-level people. I'm talking about users. It's a lot of work. It's like you're not going to just la-di-da turn on an AI and be a master. It's complex. And listen, I'm a guy who's written software for 30 years. I'm telling you, advanced AI workflows are as complex as advanced software development traditional software development workflow. You're not stupid dumbing down by getting into AI. My brother's a software tester. Will AI take that role? I think AI will augment that role. So if I was your brother, I would be learning how AI can speed up, optimize, improve software testing. Yeah, so he might be an orchestrator of software. I might be older. Migration tools. Jobs that are in huge demand is Java, C#, paying big bucks. Yeah. Is it easy to replace legacy with AI? I'm not sure. We'll have to find out. I think it will eventually become easy. For example, I don't know if you watched, so Anthropic, the makers of Claude, made a post where they basically came up with an AI. One of their engines, one of their AIs is able to apparently is able to refactor to a certain extent old COBOL code. Now, IBM, big company, They make a lot of money on that. And then when Anthropic came out, say, yeah, we can do it with AI. So all of a sudden, IBM stock dropped 13% in one day. I think it was overreaction personally. But incremental, these things. Again, explore how AI could augment legacy development. That's all. Portugal, hey, very cool. If you don't know, I'm in Canada, Montreal, Canada, frozen wasteland of North America. Hello from the UK, long time no see. Hand pink wave. Hey, how you doing, man? Thanks for joining. Yeah. What is your main programming language right now? AI. AI. I've been, in the last many years, my main thing was full stack. So I was working a lot with JavaScript. My main app, Studioweb, was PHP-based, PHP Laravel. I used to do a lot of Java, done C#, done Python, done all kinds of stuff. But now I'm leaning towards, I like exploring new paradigms, new ways of thinking. So yeah, I've used AI to speed up software development. Sometimes it's fantastic. So I was talking about that. I was debugging something, old legacy web app. And because of AI, I was able to take 2 hours of work and make it like 5-10 minutes. But on the other hand, I wanted to change a little bit of a responsive website, and AI kept messing up badly. So I just did it myself, So it depends what you're doing. TypeScript is in trend, right? Is it replacing JavaScript in the future with AI? Should I learn type? Mr. SFL 1484, my advice to you is that you, once you know your fundamentals, just build things. If a TypeScript project comes up, learn it, learn the basics. If you know JavaScript, for you to learn Python will be, to learn TypeScript will be it will be trivial, simple. And ask AI, say, listen, what are the advantages of TypeScript for me in the real world in terms of jobs? Not just in terms of technical execution, but in terms of jobs. What are the advantages? What are the advantages? So I'm super stoked, by the way, but my new little mini mic is working out. I think people can hear me clearly. That's fantastic, because I'm tired of having the big mics in my face. I got anyway, I'll stop. I appreciate your work, Uncle. Well, I appreciate you watching, and thanks for that. I am in the mentoring program. I'm really loving your approach of learning the fundamentals and the new course which helps you grasping the fundamentals of AI. I appreciate that. Thanks. Well, thanks for joining the program. I'm glad you like it. There's going to be new material. I'm bringing in a bunch of new material in there. Restructuring. I'm going to be updating Lizard Wizard. I'm going to be updating the freelance course, adding new courses to help with the AI. If you don't know, people join my program because I have an interactive platform that makes learning code and code concepts really easy. Number two, if you feel there's a value being mentored by somebody with 30 years of experience, you might want to come to me. Hi from Spain. Hey, hola, right? Hey, real songs, old school, double guns. I don't know, you guys watch Star Trek, right? Code Long and Profit. What do you think of that spec kit framework? I would have to look into that. I do not know. Coding is dead at this point, and it's just a matter of time until AI creates its own ITS, create its own coding language, and leaves us all other programming languages obsolete. That could happen. But you still need the design thinkers and the implementers. That's what I teach now. We need to work on sensors, though. That's the next big thing. If AI could sense the world like we do, imagine the possibilities, yeah? Do you think a non-tech guy can handle large software development flow using AI, including maintenance, new features? You could if you're trained properly, right? Again, prior to AI, as you became more experienced as a developer, you were valuable because of your ability to make choices, architectural choices, how you structure the applications, right? Sometimes it makes sense to use this, sometimes it makes sense to use this, how you deploy it, right? Yeah, system-based thinking is the key to the future. I'm from India, 20 years C++ programmer from India, 20 years. Hello, Stef, good to see you. Hey, good to see you too. Welcome to the stream. I got a hacker rank JavaScript technical challenge and solved it with AI. Weeks later, I got hired as a senior consultant. I'm still like, what the F? That's it. You're being paid. By the way, when you are hired as a developer, you're hired to get the job done. You're not hired for code purity. You're not hired because you got a certificate. You're not hired because you know DSA. You're hired because you can get the job done. And if you can get the job done with AI, that's fantastic. So what's going to happen over the next little while in terms of software development, you're going to see people, many more jobs starting to hit the market. And you're going to see a bunch of projects that have been lingering for months, if not years and years, but they're now going to approach using AI to augment traditional development. And you're going to see a new class of application development using AI-first structures. That's what you're going to see. The developers who still think it's 2015, they're going to have more difficulty and more difficulty finding jobs unless they got experience. Unless they got experience, those jobs are very, again, as people pointed out, the hiring is starting to happen again because the overhiring glut has worked itself out in 2025. They overhired during COVID, and now they are bringing back people. But again, the people who know the fundamentals and they understand the AI landscape, you're going to do super well. All right, how are we doing? All right, I'll take a few more questions, and then I'm going to head out to lunch. Hey, Stef, have you used Cursor? I think if you liked Replit Cursor, would be even better. Yeah, I have to check it out. There's so many things. I want to get Clawbot going, or the equivalent. So I'm waiting I'm going to get a Mac Mini. If you don't know, Clawbot is like this AI agent, and I know people are using it. They're going absolutely insane with it. Probably going to get the Mac Mini soon. I'm kind of booked with things, but new Mac Minis coming out. They run, so what they do is they buy a Mac Mini, which is good with AI, and they install Clawbot with fresh version accounts. They keep it separate from their main system, and they use it to start orchestrating processes and so forth. See, if you become just an expert in that, you get the Clawbot, you get the Mac Mini, and you start working with it. Start automating things, start automating processes. You become an expert at this. Then the small business owner say, Stef, I want to automate some of my processes. I heard about this thing called Claw something or another. And you're going to go, yeah, I'm a Clawbot dev. I can set up your Clawbot for you. We can get you going with the hardware, make sure everything's as secure as it could be. Or maybe some Clawbot equivalent from Anthropic or from Gemini or GPT. They're all producing this stuff. But you would be the implementer of this. You come in as the consultant. We're going to get you some Mac Minis, and we're going to set you up. We're going to get this and this going, that and this and this and this and that. This is very advanced stuff, highly valuable. Yeah, now it's called OpenClaw. Now, probably with OpenClaw now, there's questions of security, right? Questions of security. Anyway, any other questions before I let you guys go? Let me know. And by the way, I guess the sound is good, right? I guess it sounds good. I could use this little thing here as opposed to this big mic here. Fantastic. I got too many mics. So, it's actually a pretty good mic for outside. Anyway. Yeah, let me know. I'm waiting for more questions to come in. Otherwise, we'll wrap up the stream. I hope it was useful. I don't get it. Coding is dead. Programming is dead. But in order to use AI, you have to learn. So why is it so much? We are all cooked content. The people who are saying we are all cooked are people who don't understand. That's it. In development, coding has always been a part of it. People conflate coding with development. They think it's one and the same. It is not. Coding is a part of development. The more senior a dev you become, even prior to AI, the less time you spend writing code. Code was always a component of it, but it is. So why do I say you should learn the fundamentals? Because you still need to be able to read code and understand code. If you do good coding courses, like in my courses, shameless self-promotion, you learn the concepts. That's the key. That's the key. So for example, I was talking with a friend of mine who's not a coder, but he's been working like crazy with the AI and the cloud bots for his business. He knows a little bit of code. And I said, listen, when you're working with the bots, you have to tell it how to write the code cleanly. He doesn't even know about that. So I gave him a set of instructions to give the AI. Design by interface, shallow use of inheritance, separation of concerns to emphasize, so I can go on and on. So I gave him a bunch of rules about software development so you can tell the agent what to do, tell the AI what to do. The problem with the AI is that they can go on these crazy tangents. And next thing you know, you're going to get spaghetti code, and it's going to be a disaster. But if you tell the agent properly and you structure the application development process properly, then the agents will be able to build cleaner code. But you got to know what you're doing, right? I hope that helps. Sound is really clean. Very fantastic. Good. I just saw a Vibe Coder job listing from my country's biggest internet provider in Greece. Is this scary? No, it's good. It's just going to be more. Instead of people working on projects for 5 years, they'll be working on 5 projects in a year. So a lot of problems are just going to get solved. So apply to the job. See, because here's an example. Let me emphasize this. He just saw a Vibe Coder listing for my country's biggest internet provider in Greece. This is not scary. This is opportunity. You're proving my point. Become a Vibe Coder. A coder is just a tool to solve problems. Exactly. It's one of many tools. One of many tools. Thank you, Stefan. I just joined your mentorship program today and getting my everything, all the tools set up. Very cool. Well, welcome to the program. There's a lot more coming to the mentoring program. I'm excited. I don't want to reveal it, but it's going to be some cool stuff. Again, my mentoring program has always been about getting people to the point where they can get a job or they can start freelancing or they start a business. And always teaching what you need, not one thing extra, only what you need to get going. You want to get going, you want to make money. I don't know what level you're in, but if you're in the bi-weekly group coaching calls, we have a couple of guys now who are using traditional development and AI to build, they have clients now. Not as freelancers, but a SaaS product. We have 2 guys with SaaS products now. Hi, I'm studying software development. I think it's hard to know how to learn the coding part of development. I use AI quite a bit, quite much. Trying to learn the concept, but not syntax almost at all. Well, when you're first starting out, I would suggest that you write the code when you're first starting out. Why? Because you're going to find as you write more code and play with syntax, it's going to help you with conceptual understanding. So you have to look at it as a means to an end. So you will not be writing huge amounts of code, especially in the AI age. But in the beginning, you write a little bit of code so that you get the conceptual understanding. That's the key. Exactly. Learning this now with Cloud Code and Open Cloud together. Fantastic. That's fantastic. Humble in Code, you're going to do. Do you have any software architect courses available? Well, I imply a lot of it, and I teach a lot of it, even in my foundation courses. But I'm coming out with stuff. Like I'm coming out with more and more stuff, very architectural oriented. That's going to be in the program. And I already have a module in there on how to use AI in code. That's going to be expanded with new modules because things are changing. And I'm going to do a specific course. I want to do a specific course on something called system level thinking. System level thinking. Year plan. Yeah, you can get it done easily within a year. 6 months to a year is a reasonable time frame. Do you think start software development career from zero now is not real anymore? I think it's the best time. I know this sounds counterproductive with all the doomers. Because of AI, I think this is going to be a renaissance of software development. What I mean by that, I think it's going to be an amazing time for software development, an amazing time. So yeah. All right, guys. We hit an hour. I hope you enjoyed the stream. I apologize for the camera overheating. So if you like this stream, please give me a thumbs up. I would appreciate that. Comment below. I'll probably keep it up, keep the stream up for at least a little while because we had that big interruption. I might just edit it and release it as standalone videos. But yeah, that's about it, guys. I hope you found this useful. I hope the audio was clean enough for you guys. And there you go. Don't despair. Software development is not going anywhere. It's just the evolution. And be lots of jobs. So I'll be coming on more often. I don't know if I'll do afternoon streams. I might do more evening streams. For me, this is 12:40 p.m. in the afternoon. So there you go. All right. Be well. Be well, be well. I'll end off with my ASMR video here.